Good evening, everyone. Tonight, I have a short, true ghost story to share. I got this story from a guy named Rat. I'll title his story, I Went to Clean a Haunted House. Hello, everyone. The story I'm about to share is a true story that happened back in 2013. I'm from Takeo Province, and at that time, I went up to Phnom Penh to find a job. At first, I was a construction worker, but later my friend asked me to work with him at a company that hired people to fix and clean houses. Since it was physical labor, they didn't ask for much, just that you were strong and honest, and you'd get the job. After I started working, my boss would take me and the other workers to fix or clean a lot of places, and we never had any problems. But there was one house that made me so scared that I quit my job. As I remember, it was in 2013. One day, my boss got a call from a client who wanted us to clean a house in the suburbs of Phnom Penh. The area wasn't too busy, but it wasn't too quiet either. There were 3 of us, my boss, me, and another coworker named Brother Sang. After we got there, the homeowner rode up on his motorbike and opened the gate for us to go inside. The house already looked creepy from the outside, but when the gate opened, we saw that it was even scarier than it looked from the street. The house wasn't that old, but it was surrounded by overgrown grass and vines, and it was so quiet, which made it really spooky. Brother Sang and I walked around the house to check it out, and we started pulling out some of the vines and grass. After we walked all the way around, we came back to the front, and we saw our boss sitting there, playing on his phone. The homeowner had probably already left because we didn't see him or his motorbike anywhere. That house had a ground floor, a mezzanine, and a rooftop terrace. When we got to the front, our boss told Brother Sang and I to go inside and start cleaning. We went in, and I started cleaning the ground floor, while Brother Sang went up to clean the mezzanine. As I was sweeping in the kitchen, I suddenly heard a glass break. The sound came from the mezzanine. I yelled up to Brother Sang, "What happened, bro?" But I didn't hear a reply. When I looked to the front of the house, I saw my boss still sitting there playing on his phone. This was weird because usually, my boss wasn't the kind of person who would just sit around while we did all the work. He'd always work with us, but this time he was just sitting there like he didn't care. But it was okay. He was our boss, so it didn't really matter if he worked or not. I yelled to Brother Sang again about the broken glass, and this time he answered, "Nothing fell." So I thought maybe I'd misheard something, but I was still wondering why he didn't answer the first time. When I asked him about it, he didn't answer me again. I started to suspect that there was something wrong with the house, but I didn't want to overthink it. So I went back to work since I wasn't done cleaning the kitchen yet. When I got to the kitchen, I saw a small knife spinning on the floor, like someone had just spun it. The strange thing was, where did that knife come from? I hadn't seen it when I was cleaning before. The whole house, including the kitchen, was completely empty, with nothing in it. Feeling like something was wrong, I went up to the mezzanine to find Brother Sang. I thought I'd help him finish up there, and then he could come help me clean downstairs, because I didn't want to work alone anymore. When I got up there, I saw Brother Sang walking quickly up the stairs, probably heading to the rooftop terrace. I only saw his back, but I was sure it was him. But what I didn't expect was that when I got to the stairs, Brother Seng was nowhere to be seen, and the door to the rooftop terrace was locked. I got goosebumps all over, and I hurried back downstairs. When I got to the bottom, I saw Brother Seng walking in through the gate with a pack of bottled water. That meant he had just gone out to buy water. So who did I see and talk to? Just a few minutes ago, I was so scared, but I tried to act normal and went to get a drink of water. Maybe my boss knew what happened, or maybe it was just a coincidence. But after I drank the water, my boss said, "Let's all work on one section at a time. No more splitting up." After he said that, we went back to work, but my boss still didn't come inside. This time, we went up to the mezzanine to clean from the top down. While we were sweeping, I suddenly heard a sound like someone was pounding on something, and Brother Seng heard it too. I went out of the room on the mezzanine to check if it was my boss making the noise, but there was no one outside. When I went back into the room, I saw Brother Seng standing there, looking at the wall. There was a footprint on the wall. I asked him, "What's wrong, bro?" Brother Seng replied, "That sound earlier was probably someone kicking the wall. When I first came in here, I swept the ceiling first, and then I swept the walls. But I didn't see this footprint when I was sweeping the wall. It just appeared." We looked at each other, scared again, and quickly ran back downstairs. Just a few steps after we left the room on the mezzanine, the door closed on its own. When we got outside, we told our boss about all the strange things that had happened. He said he had a feeling about the house since we first arrived. When we were walking around the house earlier, the owner told him that this house was an inheritance from his parents, but it was written in their will that they would only give it to him after they had passed away. But before they passed away, the new homeowner had already gotten married and was living with his wife's family, and he still is. He just wanted to fix it up and clean it to rent it out, which is why he called us. He also said that his father died of old age, but his mother died from a heart attack. My boss said that's why he didn't go inside the house, because he was scared too. When I heard my boss say that, I almost had a heart attack myself, because I was so shocked at my boss, and also because I had never experienced something so strange before. However, since our boss had already made an agreement with the homeowner, we couldn't stop working. After we calmed ourselves down, the three of us went back in to continue cleaning. But this time, my boss went to buy incense to burn and ask for permission. After my boss burned the incense and asked for permission, we continued working as normal. When we had cleaned about 90% of the house, which was when we came back downstairs to clean the ground floor, a strange sound came from the room on the mezzanine. It sounded like people were talking, but we couldn't understand what they were saying. Next, we heard the sound of a window opening. It sounded like it was coming from the kitchen. When we heard that, the three of us quietly snuck over to check it out, wanting to know for sure what it was. But when we got there, we didn't see anything. However, we were still totally terrified. So for the remaining 10% of the job, we just rushed through it to get it over with so we could hurry and get out of there. This was one of the most terrifying experiences I've ever had. Even though I didn't see a ghost with my own eyes, I was still so scared. And not long after that, I quit my job. And that's the end of Brother Rat's story. Thank you all for listening to the end. If you like, please subscribe to my channel. Goodbye, and I'll see you in the next video.